Hey, we're back talking about my favorite caliber, the 8.6 Blackout, and I'm going to show you some things that I've done to my Q-Fix. A couple months ago, Q-Fix came in. It's an 8-inch barrel SBR with a suppressor, and I did finally get to shoot this. Let me run you out to the range for the first couple of shots. Here it is. I know it looks a little bit different than it did on camera there. For one, I have the large magazine in there, which is not the typical one that I'll run. And also the suppressor is up here on the Faxa. Soon, our pork chop from Q, the suppressor, will be here and it will complete the look and make it look a little bit more balanced. It looks kind of stubby without a suppressor on there. The next thing that you might notice is this giant optic. Someone said in the comments that I put a 1990s camcorder on top of my Q-Fix. I don't disagree with that. This is the AIM 101. I know that it doesn't follow the traditional form of a scope, but there's a very good reason for that. The AIM 101 is actually a fusion of thermal, traditional thermal, and night vision, which is the less cost option that isn't as good as thermal, and thermal is the more expensive one. This is a fusion of the two. And what that does for us when you're looking through the scope is it creates essentially full color thermal. I met the inventor designer of this. We met out at a golf course a couple of weeks ago, and he went through every single detail of this machine, and I was absolutely impressed. Mounted this up in a Sunway Photo tripod, just in the clamp. We were able to look out over the golf course, seeing birds fly through and down roads and over creeks. Really cool experience to have that thermal and then the night vision and the color. Really fantastic. That's unbelievable. So I know it's not traditional looking, but I don't necessarily care about that. The value and what this thing does as how it's priced in the market is unbelievable. I have a full blog post on this optic. I've sighted it in, I've since shot it a couple of times. 10 out of 10, highly recommend. You probably should grab one. The rest of this is completely original, unaltered Q-Fix, just the way Kevin would want it. But we can't leave it that way. I have some upgrades, so let me bring you down here to the workbench and we'll go over some of the things that I'm going to change. We will definitely talk more about this optic as we use it more. Have a hog hunt coming up here pretty soon, and we'll definitely roll some footage. This has recording capabilities and all sorts of cool features. More about this later. I have a blog post on this, which is where you'll find the links and the website and the codes and all that for this unit. The first upgrade you need to make is you should be shooting Halworks ammo. These guys do a really great job on the load development. He is 100% in tune and a big fan of the 8.6 Blackout. He's in tune with what's happening in the world. Now, Halworks has done an upgrade on their own. So I'm not for sure when this is rolling out, but Halworks has upgraded their box. Nice looking box there, Fort Worth, Texas, Halworks Ballistics. Let's see how they're doing the inside. Oh, they've got the styrofoam. Okay. So it comes in the styrofoam. I like that. Similar foam to their old packaging. I'm going to turn this in for his brass program, and he's going to make some ammo specifically for the gun that this shot from. You can save a little bit of money if you recycle your brass, and if you want to know more about that, Halworks can help you out. And another box here of once fired Varog brass that we'll turn in for our brass buyback. If you're interested in a Q-Fix, those guys can also help you out with that, as they are certified Q dealers. All right, next big upgrade that we need to do is we need a rail section on here, and Q has designed this gun with the Q Cert. It does not have M-Lock. It certainly doesn't have a key mod. It's got Q Cert. They pay really special attention to every single thing over there at Q, and designing their own rail system. Doesn't really surprise me. We got a drop sticker. I think Kevin would love if we put one of those on there. So here's our ARCA rail section that we're going to install on the bottom of that. That will allow us to clamp this simply, easily, and 100% securely into our Sunway Photo tripods. I mentioned we're going to be hunting very soon, so being able to shoot off of a tripod is a big deal. It gives us a lot of flexibility. Next up, we have a new top rail section. This bridges the upper to the handguard using AR terminology, and it looks like it goes this way. Now, this one is a little bit different because it is a 6 mil. Probably most of you are going to be familiar with like a 20 MOA base. This is a 6 mil base, and this will give us some additional cant so that we get more range out of our optic. When you're shooting a subsonic fat boy like the 8.6 Blackout, she drops pretty quick. For the most part, we've got high quality optics. That tracked optic has like 60 or 70 mil of adjustment inside of it, and then you can still hold over another 10 mil or 15 mil. Pretty crazy what these scopes are doing these days. You don't have that much adjustability in a thermal, but we're also not going to be taking any long range shots with a thermal. I'm going to hold on to this for now, try to catch a couple of hogs on camera, and leave this setup. I think that, I don't know, for me, this funky optic on this gun, it kind of works. It's an interesting design gun. Why should it have a traditional scope on it? That being said, I have a traditional scope, and we'll put it on it. All right, next on the list is the G-Sling. I don't know why they didn't call it the Q-Sling, but this is the G-Sling from Q. Now, it uses these little sling doubles. This is a fascinating way to secure your sling to your gun without using the detents. Now, those quick disconnect cups and the little detent balls, for the most part, that's an okay system. Q can't do that. They had to come up with their own system, so they came up with this. I fully can appreciate that this is going to be lighter. I can also appreciate that it's going to be quieter, as nothing is clinking together. But as a prepper, the redundancy of a system is important to me. So I can have 2 or 3 slings, and they can be versatile to go across the different QD cups on the different guns with different setups and QD mounts on the handguard and all that. This gun won't ever be able to do that. But the Q sling technically could go to any gun because it just kind of, you can lash it wherever you wish and have this sling go to any gun. So it can go into, it can go onto any handrail or on the back around any stock component. So you could make the case that this is actually more versatile, but I do only have one of them. All right, the next thing is that I wanted to put a Kung Fu grip. Die-free company, Kung Fu Grip, they're doing some really interesting things, and they have a new product coming out, kind of cool. I've got a link to these guys. Go grab one of these. They're better than a Magpul in every way. The only thing that's going to be a problem for us is this beaver tail, and it looks as if that very well may interfere with our hinge. That's a bummer, because I think that would look so fantastic on there. Is that worth modifying? So I've got it lined up in there, and it would very definitively interfere with, man, that's a bummer. I think it would actually hit right there on the bottom of the hinge and not allow it to function. That's too bad. Okay, die-free, we need a beaver tail free version for the Q-Fix. If you want to just make me one, I'll rep it for you. Maybe also just like half an inch longer for those of us with big hands. Yeah, die-free company, hit me up. This is a phenomenal platform. I know that they're expensive. If you're looking for 8.6 Blackout and you want a bolt gun and you can save up for this. It's probably worth it for you. It's a really cool and perfecting situation on the design. I think it's really great. And when I first got it, I'm like, this is weird how this action works, and like it's a little bit different, but it's different in a better way. It's not different just for the sake of being different. They really did do something cool, and And again, part of the reason why this optic is on this gun is these guys are doing the exact same thing. They saw a need for these two technologies to be merged. They put them together. They paid no attention to what everyone else was doing, and they did it the way that they could make it work the best. And so a funky scope on a funky gun works for me. Let me know if you disagree in the comments. I appreciate you guys watching. YouTube's not gonna let me show you how to do any of this stuff. You can probably figure it out anyway. YouTube also thinks that you will like this video right here. We're gonna have to pause on the grip unless we decide we wanna chop that off. I don't think I can do that on a gun like this. So we'll pause on this. We'll get the ARCA rail put on. We're gonna hold on to this for a little while until this gets into its 2.0 version. And we're definitely gonna put that sling on. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.